Hello, everyone. It's me, Andrew. I'm here in my home in lovely Ligonier, Pennsylvania. Hopefully, you all are doing well out there. Um, I apologize for being a little bit late today. My brother called, and I don't really hear from him too much. And so I thought that there was an issue maybe with our mom. Um, and because he lives with her. And, I was a little bit nervous because I don't really hear from him very much. But everything is fine, I guess. So, anyways, we're here now. And yeah, so hopefully, y'all are doing well out there. If you're watching, please say hello. And let us know where you're tuning in from. It's always nice to hear where folks are watching from. I always think that's interesting. I remember those where they would like look in the telescope and then they would say like, I see Billy and I see Willie and I see all the people. And I always thought that was kind of cute. So anyways, I like to hear where y'all are from. Um, so let me know. So tonight I had kind of some ideas about what we were going to do. And then it took a little bit longer than I thought to respond to my brother. So that kind of went out the window as far as that's concerned. So I thought it might be fun to just like hang out in the beginning, maybe make some jewelry, and let things happen naturally, I guess. I don't know. And then we can look at some random lots that we've pulled. I have some things that I haven't shared before that I can kind of look, and you can also let me know what you're looking for, and we can try to find something. I see Sophia's watching over on Instagram. Howdy. Let's see who's watching over here. Not too many people. So share your referral link. I don't have that. Let's see if I can. Whoop. Um. Hmm. I can't. Let me see. I can't post comments to some destinations. Learn more. Okay. Let's see if I can turn it. So this is fun. Um, Looks like StreamYard has changed it again, and so you normally where there's comments, where I can see all of your comments, it has this great big thing about sharing our referral links and about how I need to comment with stuff, and I'm like, what in the world? Can we just not change stuff for a hot second so that we can just live our lives? And so it's like there's like I wish I could screenshot it for you so you can see what like I have about like one line of text that I can see on my through my browser. Um Anyways, we'll make do, I guess. Um so I see maybe Susie's watching. I can't really see the comments. Howdy Susie, hopefully you're doing well. Um I kind of think sometimes it's like I don't think I'm like anti technology or that I'm like against like upgrades and stuff. Like sometimes I feel like that because I do a lot of stuff like analog. Like I have a sketchbook and I have an idea book that I keep with me and I draw things out, and it's very kind of like manual in a lot of ways. So, but I'm not opposed to like technology and it helping me. What I do get sometimes frustrated with is when there's like an established system and folks try to make it like better or different, or I don't know what the motivation is. And they make it so that I can't do the things that I've done before. So that's always frustrating to me. and not my favorite. So we'll just have to go with it, and hopefully when William comes, I can talk to him and we can try to figure that out. Um, Charlie's over on Instagram. She says hi, popping in and out. We'll be back. Oh, good. Howdy, Charlie. Susie, our neighbor, is watching. Hi, Susie. Melinda says watching from Northwest Georgia. Nice. You know, I was actually looking at a craft school to go to in Northwest Georgia called William Holland Lapidary School, and they are in. Let me see where they're actually at, because like I don't want to be misinforming folks. William Holland. They're in, let's see, where are they? They are in Young Harris, Georgia. And that is right up, it's more kind of in the middle, I guess. I don't know. I guess in the middle towards the top, right? Right across the way from North Carolina. So they're actually pretty close to the folk school, which is because the folk school, because I just went to the folk school earlier this year. They're in they're pretty close, I think. Let's see if I can move that over. Yeah, they're just right across the way. Yeah, that's cool. I didn't realize it was that close. It might even actually be easier to get there than the folk school, because the folk school, there's a road that's a pretty wavy gravy through the mountains. But yeah, huh. Melinda's Julie's watching. Hey, Julie. Pat says anxious to see what you all do. I'm from Chico, California. Hey, Pat. She says, first time here. Well, welcome, Pat. Hopefully, you are doing well. Thank you for joining us. We're having a pretty casual evening tonight. When I was getting on to get ready for tonight, my brother called, and I don't really hear from him too much, so I got kind of nervous because. Yeah, I don't really hear from him very much. So I got kind of nervous at first. But everything's fine, I guess. So we'll see. Um, oh, is that Alba on Instagram? Hey, Alba, if you're still watching. Linda says, I have friends that went to that college. It's not too far from where I live in Chatsworth. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's a really cool place. It's called William Holland School of Lapidary Arts, and they have different classes that you can take that are related to lapidary. And I know a lot of my jewelry friends either take classes there or they teach there. So maybe next year I'll put it on the radar for places to visit, because this year I'm going everywhere. So in just a couple of weeks, I'll be headed down to Penland, which is in North Carolina. That's up near Spruce Pines. And so I'll be going there. And then after that, I'm going to have a week off to get ready for my class, which I'm going to be teaching at Winston-Salem. I'm going to be teaching powder coating at Sawtooth. If you are interested in taking that class, there are a few spots available from what I last talked to the studio coordinator. But it's filling up, and It's definitely running. So if you are worried about that, don't worry that if it's going to run or not. And then after that, I have a couple days. I think I have a day between then and going to Memphis. And I'm going to be going to the fire conference at the Metal Museum, and we're going to be doing some large scale metal pouring. So I'm excited for that. I've never done anything like that, and I am a little bit apprehensive about that a little bit because it's a whole nother world. Like conceptually, I get the things like, okay, I kind of understand like what we're going to be doing. And they're like, well, we'll show you and we'll go step by step. Um, so we'll see because it's not if if you get a little bit of molten metal on you with like casting or something that's like this much. When it's the big pours, it's a lot more. So I'm sure they'll be wonderfully safe. And then right after that, I'm coming back and I'm going up to Haystack, which is in Maine. And so I'll be there. And I'm also going to be going to Poquoson, which is also in North Carolina. Um, and it seems like a lot of the craft schools are in or around the area. And so I'll be going there. And I'm going to be doing some soft wax casting. And then after that, I'm going to be teaching at Peters Valley in New Jersey. And so I hope folks sign up for that because it's going to be it's going to be a fun one. We have a whole week to work, so we have a little bit more time to work, which I think is really, really good. Um, Sometimes in the classes, because of the scheduling, I only get to teach for a couple of hours or even a couple of days. And so having this extended time is really nice. If you are financially not able to take the class, there are different options. And so one of the ways that you can do that is by applying for a scholarship. I think their internal scholarship, the deadline, if it hasn't closed already, it is closing very soon. But there's also the SNAG, which is the Society of North American Goldsmiths, and they also have an educational endowment scholarship for folks to take classes. So if that's something like you're like, oh, I can't afford to take the class, which I'm oftentimes in that boat, so I apply liberally to different scholarships. Um, uh, even if you don't have a lot of money, don't let that be a barrier. I know it's not as simple as that, and if you have like a full-time job, then you have to like take off, or if you have a family, you have to make accommodations for that, and it can be tricky sometimes balancing everything. But I really do think it will be a lovely experience, and I do hope that people sign up because I'm getting nervous because I haven't heard anything about it. So I'm going to start trying to really push for that. That class is in August. So there's a little bit of time to make that happen. But I'm really, really hoping that people sign up because I'm going to be able to use powder coating basics, but then go one step further. So we'll be able to do a lot more mixed media and experiments and really push things to develop people's own work, which is really important to me because I don't necessarily want to teach people to make the work that I make. Um, I want people to feel empowered to make the work that they want to make. And I will be there to help guide them to do that as the best I can. So hopefully, folks will sign up for that. And then I'm also going. Um, there's another one. Where else am I going? But the three main big ones that I'm going to go to, I have a vision board. I don't know if y'all have a vision board, but I have a vision board. And so on my vision board for 2025, I had the folk school, which I did check. I had Penland that's coming up in a couple weeks. I'm excited for that. I had Haystack on the vision board, and I had Picosin on the vision board, and all of them are happening. So I'm super excited for that and really looking forward to it. And I feel really lucky. I was very fortunate and won a bunch of scholarships, but I also am doing work study for some of them. Like I'm doing work study for Penland, and I'm also doing work study for Picosin. So hopefully they don't work me too hard because I'm not built for like manual labor. But I'll try my best. But I can't guarantee that I'm gonna be, clearing the hill or whatever with the brush. I can maybe get like a little patch, a little every day, but I don't know. They have to manage their expectations with me. I'm not the young spry folk like how some of the other folks are. Um, and let's see who else is watching. I see a couple more folks are watching. Um, Brooke is watching. Hi, Brooke. Anna is watching. Hi, Anna. Linda says that part of Appalachians is breathtaking. Yeah, I really enjoy that part of the country, and uh, I oftentimes get pulled back into that area, and I really like it. It is really pretty, and it's wild to think that the mountains there are connected to the mountains here because we live in Pennsylvania, and we live in the Ligonier Valley, which is part of the Appalachian Mountains. And so it's kind of like, maybe not, I don't know if it's like the in between spot. I don't actually know where the in between spot is, but we are a part of that same mountain range. So it's pretty cool to think that even though we're hundreds of miles away, we're still connected. So at least I think that's a fun little thing. And it says, learning is good for you. You'll have a great time. I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to it. I really value education. I think it's such an important thing, and especially craft education. And I'm on the board of a craft school named Touchstone, which is up here, and I love it. I love the school. It's one of my happy places. It's something that as an artist and as a person, I've gotten so much out of it. So I see the value because I experienced it. It was so important to me and my own development as an artist. And I can't encourage it enough because I think those experiences are so wonderful. And if you can make it happen, make it happen. Don't put it off because I put it off for years and years. I said, "Oh, somebody else, somebody else deserves it." Um, no, just do it, and you'll have hopefully a good time. Sometimes it can be weird. Any group of people, it can be weird. I can sometimes be a little bit shy. So going into new situations can kind of be a little bit stressful. But normally, out of all the classes I've had, I've only had like a very small handful of experiences that were unpleasant. And generally speaking, the positive outweighed the negative in every situation. And there's no class that I've taken where I didn't learn at least something. And so I definitely encourage folks to keep learning. And I know sometimes that's not possible for folks. And it's kind of one of the reasons why we go live. It's because, we want to share the love of craft and we want to share the love of making things. And so we're able to, you know, do that online. So, anyways, let's see. Kimberly says, good evening, everyone. Howdy, Kimberly. Julie says, wish I lived closer. Um, yeah, that'd be fun. If you are interested in places out where you live, there are actually quite a few places I don't know specifically if they would be right up your alley. But like in Arizona, there's the Yuma Symposium. That's already happened this year, but that's a really great kind of way to kind of get the feel for a lot of makers out in that area. And they get people who come from all over the world to present. But it is a lot of locals and stuff go to that. So the Yuma Symposium is pretty good. In Mesa, Arizona, I want to say there's urban metal works. I could be making this up. But there's a couple different, there's one in Mesa, and then in Tucson, there's actually a pretty robust craft community there. And in Tucson, they have through the Pima Community College, they have stuff, and then through I want to say did I say urban desert metal? They have classes there, and there's some really amazing classes that are supposed to be there. I want to say the person who was helping with that, she's from Japan, and so she is teaching a lot of her Japanese techniques, which I would love to take classes with her one day. Her name is Momoko Akoda Momoko. I just know her Momoko. Um, and anyway, so she's out in Tucson, and I don't know if she's still there, but she was really instrumental to a lot of stuff. And then our friends Kevin Potter, they just recently opened a teaching studio. They bought the building next door and they put benches in, and it looks amazing. And he's talking about like $20 a day for students to use the studio there. And I mean, that's like a cup of coffee and a bagel in most places. Um, and so if you are in that area or near there, that would be a wonderful place to have creative communities. So there are lots of places all over the country. And there are things like there's ones that I didn't even know about. And the more that I'm going to them, the more I'm starting to learn about the different craft schools. And actually, there's a really wonderful like connection to American history with the craft movement. And a lot of the craft schools ended up coming about because of the GI Bill. So they would get an opportunity to when they got out of service, they could then take classes, and a lot of those arts programs are directly because of those. So I think that's pretty cool to think about that. And then the other thing about that, there's a wonderful show on PBS called Craft in America. And if you're interested in learning more about like the craft movement and different makers and different kind of topics that a lot of people are encountering, I 100% recommend that show. I love that show. And they used to do like 4 episodes a year. I think they only do 2 episodes a year. So I'm a little bit like, wait a minute, I want more. But anyway, so if you have PBS or I think they call it Compass, and it's like a streaming service that you can get through PBS. It helps support PBS. That's a wonderful place to do or a thing to watch. Julie says, I need to look into these. I always want to learn. Yeah, if you message me, I can give you the list of the places in the area. There's also a place in California that I want to go to. I just found out about it because one of my teachers who I learned from at Snow Farm, her name was Bree Flora. She's teaching there, and it's called Idlewild, and it's in California. And I think that would be really fun. My I had a teacher just recently in at the folk school, and she was talking about how she grew up near there, and would teach there. So I think it's a really great, they're everywhere. I mean, I can't think, I mean, it's like it depends on what you're interested in learning, of course. Some places are more heavily geared towards certain things. Like, I'm really lucky, or we're really lucky, because the Center for Metal Arts is nearby. It's in Johnstown, which is where our store is, our brick and mortar store. And they're right a couple miles away from the shop. Um, the nice thing about that is that they bring people in, and it's a really wonderful place. And I've been really fortunate to take classes there. But I will say that it is more blacksmith geared, or forging is what they call it. So if you're not into that kind of like banging on big metal, then that may not be the right fit for now. They are talking about putting a fine metals studio, but I think they're trying to fundraise for that, and it's kind of expensive. So you know, it'll just be what it'll be. All right. And of course, if anybody is interested in Touchstone, let me know, because I will talk about them all day, and I'm happy to do it. If you aren't familiar with Touchstone, there's a really cool event that's coming up, and people come from all over the country, so it should be really fun. At the Snag with the Society of Inclusive Blacksmiths event at Touchstone, and that's coming up at the end of May. It's the very last weekend of May, going into June, and it's relatively affordable. Um, the early bird pricing has passed. They also have scholarships for that as well. So if you're interested in doing that, definitely, that's a really cool thing. I helped with the planning committee for that. So there's some really cool artists who are coming. The keynote speaker is Kim Kryler, who is a really amazing sculptor. So it's not just jewelry. There's going to be blacksmithing. There's going to be enameling. There's going to be all kinds of stuff. And I'm super excited about that. Because I was on the planning committee, I got a discount on my ticket, and then I was able to save up enough and got a ticket for William too. To save money, we're going to be driving in because it's only about an hour away from us. So we'll be going back and forth. However, yeah, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to make things happen. But I'm excited about it. And that's coming up at the end of May. So if anybody is interested in that, I can send a link, because it should be a really cool event. All kinds of metal goodness, big and small. And there's things that you may never know about that you find out about, and then it'll be your next love language. So, never say never, right? Anyway, so we've been busy. William went to the cottage and did some work. I stayed up late and did some work, and did some more paintings. So I stayed up way too late, which is not unusual, I guess. And yeah, so busy, busy, busy day. There's a couple different exhibitions I'm helping plan, and I've been trying to work on some of the finalizing details for that. And it's a thing that people do, and it takes time, and it takes love, and it takes energy. So I'm trying to focus on not the stressful parts and focus on the good parts. And yeah, more good than not. So I feel lucky that way. Anyways, let's go make some jewelry. I feel like that's a good thing that we can do. Um, I don't really have an idea of anything in particular, but if there is something that you want to learn that I can do like on the fly right now, let me know and maybe I can walk you through it. If it does require any kind of specialized equipment, I'm not able to do that right now because I'm not at the studio. And if you're new, because we have a couple new folks, we have the physical store. The physical store is in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. We've had that location. We've been in business for over 13 years now. And we've been in that location in Johnstown coming up on a year now. But before that, we were here in Ligonier, just down the street from where our house is, which is where I am now. And we also own Star Cottage Studio, which is where my studio is for metal smithing and enameling, and is also the fulfillment place where William packs orders and gets things out the door. And he had a bunch of boxes today. So if you're waiting on something, a lot of you are going to be pleasantly surprised because he came in looking like Santa Claus with a big bag of packages to take to the post office. So, yeah, so that's exciting. And then I was kind of talking about all the things we do and all the kind of outlets. We do a lot. All right. Really says, I'm good. Just seeing anything you make for like the tutorial time. Okay. Well, let's see. What can I remember to do? Last week we did a spiral stitch, and I was pleasantly surprised to see folks actually do it. Sometimes you spend all this time like showing a technique and then nobody does it. So I was really happy to see folks stitching along and playing. And I was also happy to see that even though this is virtual, folks were still picking up what I was laying down. Yesterday I was talking to my mentor. I have a mentor through Cohorts Arts, which I won a scholarship to work with Jennifer Wells, who is based out of Italy. And so we have a Zoom call, just the two of us twice a month. And then we have a bigger meetup at the end of the month with folks. And yesterday was one of our one-on-one sessions. And then I started getting into the conversation about filters. Because on Zoom, you can do a thing called touch up my appearance. And then you like look young and refreshed. And I like that. On here, I have no filter, unfortunately. As you can see, I have no filter in more than one way. Anyways, I don't want to scare the new people off just yet. Kimberly says, absolutely. I love seeing your designs. I'm deep in taxes right now, but I'm excited to get back to my spiral rope. Oh, good. Well, I understand how that is. We are also working on our taxes, and it's always a little bit nerve-wracking. But it is one thing that I do like about tax time, and may sound weird, but I do like to see everything. And, sometimes it feels like I don't do enough. And I'm really hard on myself. And I know I have all this generational trauma about it, about not feeling like good enough or productive enough or like I'm worthy. And so, one thing I do like about tax time, as frustrating as it is nice to see, like, it reminds me of things we bought, it reminds me of sales we made, and I think about the people. And this is probably why it's better that William does it, because I start reminiscing about stuff, and it's probably not the most efficient way to do taxes, but I do start thinking about the year that we had and I start thinking about like all the things we've accomplished. And I have to say, I'm really proud of us. We've worked really hard. It has not been easy, and it still continues to be challenging at times. Every day it feels like there's been some new kind of thing that we've had to like deal with. Um, but for the most part, I have to say, I'm really proud of us. I'm really proud of this community that we've helped steward and make it a thing. I'm really happy that we can connect with everybody, like all of you out there. Um, and I feel really proud of what we've accomplished. I think, and I'm really grateful that we're able to keep going, because there were a couple points last year and before that were a little bit dicey. We didn't really know if we could keep going. When William, who's my husband, who's also the co-owner of Allegory Gallery, he had another job which helped supplement our income. And unfortunately, on Christmas of 2023, it burned down to the ground. So we lost a third of our income overnight. And 2024 was really, really hard. It was really hard, but there were good things that happened as well. So just so y'all know, it wasn't all bad. Sometimes when I talk about stuff, people are like, oh my gosh, here you go on the doom and gloom. But really, as many things that were hard that year, there were also good things. And so I don't know. I think it's good to operate from a place of gratitude, and I'm very grateful that I'm able to do what I do and that I can continue to do it. So, yeah. All right. So, let's flip this around, and you're going to see the ceiling for a minute or so as I get situated. We're not super fancy here at Allegory Gallery. So usually what we do is we take a couple of minutes, and by a couple of minutes, 30 minutes to an hour of conversation at the start of our live. It's kind of a nice way to let folks kind of trickle in, and then also to catch up, which I think is super important. It's not just about me and William, it's about all of you as well. Hashtag AGBeadFam. So here we go. That's the chair, just in case you're wondering if I have something wrong. Whoop. I'm about to have something wrong. The situation here is a little bit packed to the gills. People are like, oh, I don't know how you have so much stuff, or how can you pull stuff for the lives? Because sometimes people were like, oh, well, let's just look around and see what we have. And people are like, how you have anything? And I was like, we got a lot. So, I mean, I can barely move the chair. So, that's a good thing. Abundance. Yeah, let me know what y'all are up to in the comments as we get situated. Let's see. I'm going to turn the heater down because I'm getting a little bit roasty toasty style. So here, enjoy looking at one of William's pieces. The interlude. So usually we go live every weekday, and we're usually around 7:30. And yeah, so William is at his pottery class on Wednesdays, so that's why you're stuck with me for the first part of it. Let's see. Has anybody done herringbone with cubes? I don't know. I'm sure somebody in this world has, but we've never done it. So maybe we'll do that today as a little primer. All right, so I've got a needle. I've got my cutter. And I've got some Fireline. I have this right now. It's a Fireline. It's a 6-pound crystal. I think that the crystal and the smoke are kind of the most versatile colors. Kimberly says, I'm making a cucumber salad. Oh, good. Kimberly says, I've seen Danielle do it. Oh, good. Julie says, not me. Let's do it. Brooke says, I've done herringbone with hex cut beads. Okay. All right. So this should be fun. So when I start herringbone, I like to use either a Rocal or a Delica. If you're ever looking for seed beads, we don't have them listed online. So sometimes people don't think we have them, but we have them. And if we don't have them, we can order them in. So let's do a fun kind of pattern. Let's see, what colors do I have over here? I have these. You'd think that like people like, what am I watching? Oh, those are pretty. Speaking of hex cuts, I like those. I've got these kind of mustard colored cube beads. Those are a little bit grande style, so I don't know how that's gonna work. And then let's see, I've got some blue. I really need to get my whole kit up here. Maybe I'll make a table on the other table and I'll have my own little zone. The only problem is that it's not connected to computer over there, so I can't see comments and stuff as well. Let's see, what else we got? All right. So I also have these metal seed beads, which I adore. They're a size 8.0 nickel plated seed bead, and I love them. Let's use some of those, I think. And let's see, what else? Yeah, let's do that. All right. So, yeah. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our beginning kind of setup. Let me decide on my final answer for the beads that we're going to use. I think we'll use these. I'm getting Tornil. I think we'll use. If I have another thing of Delicas, I may try to use those. Because it's a little bit easier to see if you have more than one color. If you have one color only, it can kind of get confusing. And if you haven't done it before, then it may not be ideal. So, well, let's roll with it. It's also easier to do, let's do the base stitch in this color. Okay, these are a size 8 Miyuki. I like to use Miyuki seed beads when possible, or Japanese seed beads, just because they're a little bit more consistent. Sometimes with the Czech seed beads, they can be a little bit wonkadoodle. And even though the Japanese seed beads are graded out and they do their best to pick out any kind of defects, they sometimes do have them. So just pick those out as you're working and make sure to put those off to the side. Don't throw them away, because I feel like I saw somebody do a video and they're like, I just pitch them in the trash. And I was like, well, aren't we rich and wasteful? Now, you can use, if you have a regular size shaped or um, a size beads, especially seed beads, just use those for like fringe or spacers or, there's a lot of ways. I would never throw anything away just because it's a little bit different, you know. So, anyways, don't throw your beads, y'all. All right. So this is a fire line. I'm gonna cut off one wingspan of that. And if you're like, but you don't have wings, Andrew. Well, that's what they call it. So it's a mode of measurement. It's your one length of your arm extended outwards, and then plus your torso. You can't really see it, but you just kind of have to trust. The reason some people, they love to work with longer thread. I don't know how they can do that without getting it all tangled up. There's one that I saw and it was like work with 50 something feet of it. And I was like, how that's not a nightmare and not a little rat nest? I don't know. They got some mad skills or some kind of magic that does not tie knots every 5 seconds. Because even with this length, it sometimes gets challenging. So I just kind of adjust this where I squeeze this down and then pull the thread along it. I don't like to go like this because I feel like I don't get a really clean and sharp cut for my thread. The cleaner the cut, the easier it is to thread my needle. So whenever I'm threading my needle, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I put the needle on top of the thread instead of trying to make the thread go into the eye of the needle. I put the eye of the needle onto the thread. Kimberly says you can also use those oddballs of beads in resin. Yes, you can. Michelle's watching. Hey, Michelle. Hopefully you all are doing well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got a little random little mix. This is from our Radical Joy kit, which is on our website, which is www.allegorygallery.com. And I'm just stringing up one little seed bead, and then I'm going to put this about 5 inches or so from the bottom, and then I'm going to go up through the bottom of that seed bead, and that's going to make my stop bead. And I think that's good, so you can control your tension. I'm going to pick up I'm going to pick up 4 of these size 8.0 delicas, Japanese seed beads. I'm going to pick up 4 of them. This is a little bit easier to see with 2 different colors, but I can't find the other one. So I strung those 4 up like so, and then I'm going to count 2 and separate it, and then go up the thing, up the thing. People are like, what kind of instruction is this? And I'm going to pull this down to the bottom. The nice thing about delicas is that they, generally speaking, they like to sit nice to each other, but we're going to encourage them. It's like those sweaters that they make people wear when they're like bad. And so what I'm going to do, I've got 2 of them here, and the thread is coming out the top of this one, right? So I'm going to go down through this one. All right, see that? I'm going to gently pull. The cool thing is that the more rows you add on this, the little bit tighter it gets. All right, I'm going to pick up 2 more seed beads. Since the thread is coming out the bottom of this one, I'm going to go down through the top. All right. And I want those to sit next to each other. So I'm going to gently persuade them, and then I'm going to go up through like this. And I really can't remember like how this to start. I think maybe I can get away with 4. Maybe let's try 6 rows and then see. So if the thread is coming out through the top, I'm going to go up through the bottom. And then I'm going to go down since it's coming up. See how it's coming up through the top there? I'm going to go down through the last row that I added. All right, so I've got these, and let's do 2 more rows, and hopefully I don't mess everything up. All right, I know I'm instilling confidence. We're going to repeat the step that we just did. If the thread's coming out through the bottom, you go down through the top. And then we're going to get back up on there and go through the, if it's coming through the bottom, you're going to go up and make it go through the top. All right. And then we're going to add 1 more of that. All right. So once we get situated, this is basically ladder stitch, and this is the foundation of what we're going to do tonight. So there you go. Michelle says, I can't get to my beads, but now I can get to my coloring book. So I'm happy about that. Oh, good. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fold these over, this over like this. And since we're coming through the bottom here, we're going to go up through the bottom on the other side. And then we're going to go down through the last row. And then we're going to go up through this again. Now, because this is the beginning, these Delicas are great big, y'all. This is not small. So that's the goal, is to make that little tube. All right, now let's see if I can do this with the hex cuts, because these are size 8. Oh. So we're going to do a mix and match. I don't know if this is going to work because I haven't done it yet. Sometimes with seed beads, you have to like take a line for a walk, as they say. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So if you're working with different shapes or different sizes and finishes, you sometimes have to be careful. So I'm going to do the hexes and this bronze color, antique bronze color, and I'm going to do the metal seed beads. And we're going to hope for the best, y'all. All right. So this is what I got. I made this little tube. I'm going to pick up 2 of the hex cuts. And I'm going to go into the neighbor and go down. And I'm going to go all the way down. But for the most part, you're going to not do that. You're just going to go through the top layer. But for now, we're just going to go all the way down. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go up through the bottom here on this row. And it's going to look hecka wonky. Let's do them all. Well, I don't know. I'm going to try this out. I cannot vouch for this. So, let me see. No, I'm going to just do hexes. So it's a little bit easier to see if you're working with multiple colors, but we're going to just do it. So I'm coming out here. I've got the thread's coming out through the top here. I'm going to go down through this one. And then I'm going to go over and walk that back up to the other side right here and go up through that one. Basically, if there's a free spot, I'm going to fill it in. And then I'm going to take 2 beads. And then this one, I'm only going down through this one bead here and going through the middle. All right. I mean, you could go all the way down, but we'll go through the middle of that one. See how I'm doing that? All right. Then I'm going to go over to the side here and see where there's a split here in the middle. I'm going to go up through this one and this one. All right, I'm going to go up through that one and up through that one. All right, now this is where I'm going to get experimental. So I'm going to pick up 2 of these metal seed beads, which I use for spacers for the most part, to be honest, but I love them. And then I'm going to go down just through this and this. So just the 2 beads. And if they get twisted, you're going to have to untwist them so that they sit side by side. All right, so I'm going to go find this split right here, and I'm going to go up through that. And then I'm going to pick up 2 beads. And then I'm going to go down through the next 2. And then go over to this side, find that little split in there. Go up through there. And then I'm going to pick up the next row. So 2 beads. And I'm just going to go through 2 of them. All right. And I want to always make sure that the beads are kind of sitting next to each other. All right. So what did everybody say? It says Dominion's watching. Hi, everyone. Hi, Dominion. All right. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up through the next 3 beads over here to jump up to that top row. All right. So now I'm on the top. I'm going to pull my tension tight, just so that I have, it's not going to be all wavy gravy style. All right, I'm going to adjust myself into a sitting position where I can see this a little bit easier. Sometimes I crane my neck over and I get that neck fatigue after a while. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up 2 of these beads and I'm just going to repeat. So if it's coming out through here, I'm going to go here and I'm only going to go through 2 beads. And then I'm going to come up over here to the friend. And at first this seems real wavy gravy style, but the more you do it, the more you start to see it kind of comes together. Also, the pattern also develops, which sometimes when people first do herringbone, they don't like it because they don't sit up and down. They kind of are a little bit of an angle. And if you don't know that that's something to expect, you can be like, what the heck am I looking at? The first time I took a herringbone class, I took the class with a woman. She was really wonderful. She's a very talented artist, but she had dementia. And so she kept forgetting steps. And so we took out the beads, I don't know how many different times. It was real difficult. But, you know, you can't falter. So I finished that row. So I'm going to jump over to the next row. I'm going to go up through 3 beads. Whenever you're starting a new row, that's the time that you go through 3 beads. Every other time you're just going through 2. And the next thing I'm going to do is pick up 2 of these metal seed beads. And this goes pretty quick, I have to say. Sometimes with seed bead stitches, it can take like forever. But this one, it goes by pretty quick. And if you have all your beads laid out, I'm just going to talk and go. At this point, we're just repeating the same thing over and over. Michelle says, for tubular herringbone, I need to practice the finish part. That's my trouble area. Yeah, that can be sometimes harder. But for the tubular, what's cool about this is because there's a great big tube in the middle, you can run beads in that. You can run flexible beading wire through it. So you can have a mixed media piece. And I actually prefer to do that as opposed to stitching a clasp onto the end. And that's just from me. Like it just is another kind of like another way of making it a little bit sturdier in my mind. And these are they're size 8.0 seed beads. I know sometimes people are like, oh, seed beads are too small. I can't see a flipping thing. Well, this one's not too bad. And it's pretty easy once you get going. And so right now it doesn't look like much, but it's going to get there. I believe in it. See it? All right, I'm going to pick up. I'm just going to work. How about that? And we can talk about, stuff. How's everybody doing? We've had it was a beautiful day here in Ligonier. The sun was out. Very pretty day. However, very cold day. And as it was chilly. How about y'all? What were y'all up to? Do anything fun or creative? Are you making anything? I know Kimberly said she's been working on taxes for folks. Are y'all working on taxes? What are y'all having for dinner? That's the question. That's always the question. And if you're new, we do tend to take a lot of time to talk about stuff. We try to be respectful to everyone. So, I kind of feel like beading is a safe place. The thing that I love about having a shop, and I don't really go to the shop as much as William does these days, but one thing that I used to love, is when people who are very different from one another would sit down and create together. And then by the time they were done with a project, they were able to kind of get to know people who are very different from them, and make friends. And if not friends, then just get a different perspective of somebody else's life. And I've seen it so many different times where people who were very different ended up becoming lifelong friends. And sometimes when we're in an echo chamber, it's nice to feel supported and like your opinion is validated. But one thing that I really like about having that kind of diversity of opinion is that, we learn and we grow. Now, one thing I will say is that the beads you pick and the pattern you make. So basically, depending on which beads you pick and how you string them, it will determine the pattern. So if you want this look, you'll do it the way that I'm doing it. However, you can make rows that are kind of long rows. These are kind of short. See how this kind of developing? That's a little shorty. Michelle says, very tired from all the changes in the apartment. We set up my second shelf, went through a bunch of my stuff and got rid of many things I didn't need, put a few things in storage. We're still planning on buying another shelf and 2 dressers. Well, that's nice. Sounds like a productive day. I need to get cracking on moving some stuff myself. We're in the middle of fixing up Star Cottage Studio and creating a space where other people can use our studio. And it's something that we've been working on for a while now. And I've been getting tools for folks and saving up for benches. And, some of our friends, they're doing something similar right now where they are, and they have a lot more disposable income than we do. So we're doing everything on kind of a shoestring budget. And I don't mind, but it is one of those things that it is taking longer to do it because we are doing mostly everything ourselves. And yeah. So I know some people were wondering what the status of our moving stuff around was. And a lot of times also in the winter time or in the early spring, we don't really have a chance to work on stuff as much because conceptually it's like I have a couple friends, they take February off in their business and they are like do whatever they do in the month of February, but they don't work. But they also have another income that kind of supplements their income. So they're able to do that, which I think is really great if you can. However, for us, when it's slow, I kind of feel like sometimes that means we have to hustle harder so that we make up the lost income and can, keep things afloat. So, you know, that's sometimes harder to get stuff done when you're trying to push extra hard. So that's what we've made so far. I'm not 100% convinced about this pattern. I mean, it's neat, but it kind of looks like I may have picked the wrong colored beads. Dominion says, what are you making? This is called tubular herringbone. So this could be a bracelet. It could be a necklace. It could be, you could make these into little earring segments if you wanted to. But basically it's just learning a stitch. So a lot of times what I teach is I don't really teach a kit necessarily. I just teach how people to use like a foundation stitch so that they can use their beads and make cool things. So that's what we're doing. Tubular herringbone. There's another name for it, but I can't remember right off the top of my head. Michelle says, that looks really cool. Andrew, it would be great for earrings. Yeah, we may do abbreviated. Maybe we'll turn this into a pendant so that, for one, we don't use up all my nice metal seed beads. Because I love the metal seed beads. I use them in a lot of my designs. So I hoard them like a dragon. And I know sometimes that can be anyways, I like to keep them because I use them. But let's do one more row of the bronze. One more full row of the bronze. And then we'll keep going. Dominion says, enjoying the nice cool weather and bright colored foliage and flowers. I walked a dog twice today in between getting healthcare stuff done. Oh, good. Sounds like a productive day. Oh, good. All right. And then I'm going to do one more row of this bronze, and then we'll do a little cap, and then we'll make that into like a little pendant or something. And that way, we can be finished. And by finished, I mean part 2 of 10. No. This is a really easy stitch, and I don't really know why it's not more widely popular, because it is very satisfying. I feel like it comes together relatively quickly, which I also appreciate, because sometimes you got stuff to do, and some things take like forever to make. And if you're like me, like I don't necessarily mind tedious things, but sometimes I just like to get stuff done. And some of the seed bead stuff, it takes forever. And I don't mind it. I like it. It's kind of meditative. But at the same time, I'm able to make like one piece when, um, you know, generally speaking, I can make a bunch of stuff. All right, so I just finished this bronze row. So I'm going to, William says, hey everyone, where are you, William? Did you pick up rice? He said, running late, just leaving pottery now. Oh, he's trying to say extend a stay maybe, so that I don't finish up, show my tutorial, and then we just looking at each other. No, but I'll show you how to finish some of these things so that as like an option for like a cute finishing. So I'm going to pick up 2 of these. Actually, I'm going to pick up 4. Let me think. Yeah, I'm going to pick up 4 of these blue beads. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this in half again, like so. And then I'm going to go up through the beads, the first 2 beads only. All right. And I'm going to be careful about this and make sure that it's nice and tight. And then I'm going to go down through those 2 blue beads. This is how you finish this off, by the way. And I'm trying to remember how to do this so I'm not a complete fool for y'all. But I think we're just going to do this. So I added 2 beads, and I'm basically doing ladder stitch with 2 beads, like how we started basically. And I've got, this is 3 rows. How many rows are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need to add 3 more of these. So we're basically going to do this, and you're going to be like, how come it's not attached? Well, I like to go and do this part first and then do it, because if I don't, then sometimes my ends are a little bit wonkadoodle. So this is the way that I can do it so that it's more tubular and less kind of like, I don't know. I just like that to do. Oops, I dropped those 2 beads. We'll just pretend like that never happened. And starting to run out of threads. That always makes me like get a little bit nervous, but not too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need to add 1 more row of this. All right. And I don't really know if other people do their end of tubular herringbone this way. I do it this way, but there's a lot of different ways of doing stuff. There's a lot of ways to crack an egg, y'all. All right, so then I fold that over. So basically I made this little this little side piece, and then I go up through that first row and down through the last row. And then you're like, but Andrew, it's not connected. Correct. So then what I do is I position this on top like so. And then I come back down through the top of that. And then go up through the bottom of that. And if you have a lot of thread, you can go all the way up through it and all the way down through it, and it makes it nice and tight. If you're like me and you didn't cut enough, usually I end up having to add thread, so this is not an issue, normally speaking. So, ow, that hurt. Actually, it didn't hurt, but I hope I don't bleed on camera. And I'm gonna just sew this on. I may have to walk my thread down on the other end to finish sewing this up. And then you just sew this on top. I'm getting to the point where I no longer have thread. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk that up to the end right there. I'm going to go underneath this thread bridge, and I'm normally speaking I would do this with a needle, but the holes on these are fairly big, and I can see it. So I'm going to make that underneath that thread bridge and then go up through that knot or that loop. And then I'm going to pull it. Right now I'm doing this without a needle because it's a little bit easier to maneuver that because I don't really have a lot of thread to work with. All right, I did not finish sewing that end on, so keep that in mind. I did not finish. This is not done by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm going to go under the other thread bridge and do the same thing, and then I'm going to do it again. And I have just enough to be able to do that. Now, this is where you have to get your thread burner out or whatever. I don't really use a thread burner. I probably should. But I just don't. So I know some folks that bothers them if there's... Oh, is William still watching? I hope he picks up some rice for dinner. I think I'm gonna make stir fry. I made a really good bread and like a cheesy kind of sauce thing last night. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim this off. Michelle says, you always make me nervous when you run out of thread. Yeah, but I don't want to weave all this stuff in. That's the thing. Is I know sometimes it's just easier. All right. So I'm going to pull my stop bead off. See how I did that? Wow. And then I'm going to thread up this side. And we'll go through. This needle's a little bit... See how this needle, I bent it at one point. See how it's a little bit off? That makes stringing this up a little bit tricksy. Because it's crooked, but that's all right. We'll make it work. Michelle says, I love bead weaving for hours, just relaxing. Yeah, it's nice when you can... William says, I did get the rice. Oh, good. Michelle says, he said he did. Oh, good. I didn't see that. Dominion said, totally tubular. And Kimberly says, I use my thread burner when seed beading because I like the extra knot security with the melted ends. That makes sense. And so we got soup today too. Oh, I didn't make any bread. I'll make the bread tonight. All right, so I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna fish this all the way up through to get to the other side. All right, and then I'm gonna look where I didn't sew it down. So I'm actually gonna back out and only go through just the middle of this so that we don't run out of thread. And I'm just what I'm doing right now is I'm just sewing the other end on, and I just have to do a couple more spots where I'm just attaching this. And I'm just gonna, how many more do I have to do? Is that attached? That's not attached. And if it is attached, it's gonna get extra attached now. And this is nice. If you do have a little bit of extra thread, I do recommend going through and reinforcing your stitches. It does make a better quality finished piece if you do that. Sometimes if you don't, it can be a little bit not awesome. All right, so I'm going to string my needle and put this through. Whoop. And that last little bit. And this is, normally speaking, if you have a little bit extra of thread, it does make it a lot easier. So you don't have to like struggle for your life. We have enough struggling, but sometimes you don't want to add a whole thing of thread to it. Like I get it. Like sometimes you're just done. You're just ready to be done with it. And so I'm doing something that looks like I'm doing some kind of surgery or something. And really, it's kind of a pain in the butt. But I just want to make sure that this is nice and secure so that it doesn't come apart. All right, so we made this little thing. It looks more impressive when it's longer. So when it's short like this, it doesn't really look like anything. But you know, if you make a whole rope of it, it's really impressive. And it's really nice and flexible, which is a plus. Because sometimes you can make these kind of beaded ropes, and they're real inflexible, and they don't want to bend. And basically, you made yourself like a real thick, immovable bookmark, which is less than ideal. So right now I'm kind of picking up and cleaning up right now. And this is so that I don't end up with like a pile of seed beads. Sometimes at the end of a live, I just like push it off to the side. And then like there's this like random pile of beads on the table. And William is like, "What's this? Why are there beads everywhere?" And I'm like, "Mind your business. This is how we get it done." But just taking those few extra seconds to kind of tidy up at the end is nice. All right. So if you are still hanging on, we're going to trim off the last of this thread. I would recommend just going through this a couple times just to make it a little bit more sturdy if you wanted to add some thread. If not, that's fine. If this is not going to be structural. And what I mean by that is the next step of this little pendant that I'm making is, let me see, can I bend this? I'm going to take a head pin and string something up. All right. So let me go get a head pin and then I'll be right back. Kimberly says, I'm sorry, Michelle. I saw a really neat one on Amazon that's rechargeable. It's on my list to purchase. Michelle says, my thread burner doesn't work anymore. I need to buy a new one. Yeah. And also, if you want, this is something that, like, I know this is kind of like maybe, I don't know how to say this, but like, if you ever are going to purchase stuff on Amazon and you want a link, we can make an affiliate link for you, and it does not change the cost for you, for if you use Amazon. But we do get a cut if you click on the link that we send. And like, it's good for, I think, 24 hours. So you could just ask, be like, hey, could I get a link for this? And we're happy to give you a link, an Amazon link. And we get a little cut. And you can buy like a car or a boat or whatever you can buy. And then we'll get like a little kickback. And generally speaking, it's not very much, but sometimes it adds up. Like when I used to have my blog, I'd get, enough money to buy groceries every month, a bag of groceries every month, and that's nothing to sneeze at. So, all right. So I'm going to get a head pin. I'm going to get my pliers. I have these. That's a double-ended flush cutter. And I'm going to get round nose plier and chain nose plier, in theory. So what are y'all up to? Anything exciting? Oh, I found something I was looking for, which was not the thing that I was actually looking for, but for something else I was looking for, so that's good. I was looking for this box of stuff, and I can't find that box, but now I have. All right, I was like, I'm gonna use this for May. I'm not gonna use it for May though. I'm gonna save that. So I've got some gold-plated head pins. Let's see if this is gonna be long enough. This is gonna be real tight. Let's see if I have a little bit longer one. Normally, if I don't have the right size head pin, I just make one. You do need a longer head pin for this. I guess it depends how long you make your little pendant. But if you have a shorter pendant, you don't have to have as long of a head pin. All right. Kimberly says, oh, cool. I'll keep that in mind. A knotted head pin demo. I have this. And so I've got this head pin. One thing that I like to do first is kind of straighten it out. In theory, I also have pliers. I may have to run downstairs. I may have taken these downstairs. But basically, I like to straighten this out, and also to make sure the ball doesn't come off the end, because sometimes the ball comes off the end if they're not made right. And then I'm going to pick a bead that goes with this. So this is kind of a guessing game depending on how thick you make your bead. This I've got, this is a size, let's see, what is this? This is a size about size 8, a millimeter. And then I'll go up through the center of this and look at it. Now it's important that this is straight, because if this is curvy, it'll show. So I may want this to be a little bit smaller, to be honest. Maybe if I can do like a 6 millimeter, or even this rondelle. Let's see how this rondelle looks. I do like a round one because it helps splay out the end a little bit. So I'm just gonna find, I think I want to use a 6 millimeter instead of an 8 millimeter. And you may be like, that's nothing. What you getting wild for, getting for that? But it really is nice to, when it fits nice and taut in there. And then I find that it's helpful to string up some beads in the core. And the reason why I do that is because sometimes this gets kind of like wonkadoodle. Like it gets kind of like, because it's like a mesh, so it gets kind of loosey-goosey in there. So if you can string up some beads on that, it will help keep the tube inflated. And sometimes you have to kind of work it down in. Sometimes they go real easy. The other cool thing is that if you have a really bright color, then you can use that as a peekaboo effect. Also, this is a good place for those wonkadoodle beads, like if they're really long or really short. You can use that because they fill the middle and you don't actually see. I mean, you see it a little bit, but it's not like in your face. All right, and I can put one more bead in there, I think. So I just strung that up, and that's basically the stuffing that keeps that inflated. And if I was at the studio, I would probably work harden this head pin just a little bit, just so that it's a little bit more rigid. Let's see. Maybe one more bead. Famous last words, right? One more bead. No. So there you go. All right. And then I'll put a bead at the top. This is a good time for like a bead cap, if you have one. Let me see if I have a bead cap. So I've strung this on like that. And then I'll just make a wire wrap loop, and there you go. Little pendant. Could be earrings. They're a little bit, yeah, that's not exactly light. Do y'all like that or no? You're like, oh, that's a look. No, but it's cool because you can also slightly bend it and then use it as like, if you need it as like a bracelet bar, you could have this as like a bracelet bar. And you could also have this as like, just do this and not put it on a head pin, but put flexible beading wire, and then you could like string it up as like a beaded bead almost. If you had multiple sections of that, it could be really cute. I don't know. I just thought of that on the fly, so I hope y'all like that demo on the fly. And then at the end, I like to have a little bit more of a blunt end, so that's where that rondelle comes in handy. Because if it's too pointy, sometimes it doesn't look very good. And I like, you can still see that peekaboo of that color, that blue color through them. I don't know if you can see that or not. So you can kind of see it in between the core of that. So then it pulls that color throughout. So that's pretty fun. Michelle says it could be used for different things. And Julie says, I love it. Oh, good. I'm glad y'all like that. And then I can't find my round nose pliers, so they must be downstairs. But basically, we would finish this off with a wire wrap loop, or if you get the flexible beading wire, you could just string it on as a beaded bead. I'm actually not going to wrap it, and the reason why is this is a vermeil head pin, which is basically a thickly gold-plated silver head pin, and I'm going to save that for something else. I'm just going to go in the studio and make a copper one. But anyways, I think that could be fun. I think if you did like a bunch of them at different lengths, that could also be really fun. So you'd have like these little doodads. And depending on the beads you pick, it could be really cool. Or if you did stripes, I don't know. I think that's a little bit monochromatic, even though it's that bronze and silver. But I think it could be fun. Or you could keep going, just make a bunch of these, and you can sew them together if you want. I like to string them on a beading wire if I'm going to string it up, just so that this is a little bit more, it has a little bit more sturdiness to it. I feel like if you sew it, it's fine. But the problem that you're going to have is that this is going to become a structural element instead of a decorative one. And so when you do that, you have to make sure even more than ever to go back and reinforce your stitches. Otherwise, one slight snag and this whole thing comes apart. So we don't want that. So if you are going to sew your stuff onto this, like if you're going to sew like a toggle end or something, you just have to be mindful of that as like a construction kind of thing. Dominion says, does anyone else bead despite having tremors sometimes? Yeah. Michelle says you can use memory wire. Yeah, you could definitely use memory wire. And this is a fun way of covering the memory wire. One thing you do, if you do this with memory wire, you just have to make sure your tension is loose enough that you can bend your piece. If you some of this, if you some okay, it kind of sounds like I don't know what I'm talking about when I kind of go, I'm like, and then, but really it's kind of an engineering thing at that point. So if you make one of these beaded ropes and your tension is really tight, it's not going to want to flex. So if you're trying to move it over a flexible or a memory wire, which is a rolled steel coil that maintains its shape, what's going to happen is if this is too stiff, it's going to break. It may not break today, but it may break down the road if this is not flexible enough. So you do have to be mindful of that. And this stitch is relatively loose, so you do have a lot more flexibility. Some of the ones like herringbone or peyote stitch, if your tension is off on that and you make it too tight, it's basically a straw. It's basically a beaded straw. And if you go to bend it, it's just gonna pop. And it may not break that day, but over time what ends up happening is the beads don't always fit well when they're bent. So imagine the beads butting up against this, and if they're going to be butt up against like this, naturally speaking, they're, it's pretty safe to say that they're secure. However, when you flex it, they kind of compress down at the bottom and they're open at the top. So that exposes some of the thread doing that, and it's fine. But sometimes what ends up happening is this will like rub, and then it will create a weak spot in your thread and it will come apart. Oh, there's William.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, good. Then I can stop talking. Hallelujah. Just in time. Oh, is that for me?
No, that's mine.
That looks nice. I think that should be for me.
I think we're going to keep that one.
Maybe. Like a set?
No, I'll sell that. That one, though, is the good size ramen bowl.
Yeah. Here, I'll get out of the way so William can show you what he's been working on. Here, stab this into the thing. I found a broken needle in our sofa the other day. Like, I
wonder where that came from.
I know. But what ended up happening was I went to close the window because I had opened it. And so I stood on the couch and I felt something sharp in my foot. And I was like, what's that? And then I was like, what's that? What's that? And so, like, I felt around and I took the cushion case off and then I like compressed the foam and it just barely peeked out. So if you put my full body weight on it, it was poking me. But like if you were just like casually sitting on it, it wasn't gonna go in your like butt cheek. But I was standing on it. So we ended up having to get the pliers and like I had to compress the foam down and then like revealed the tip, and then William had to like play surgery and then pull the needle out because it was not coming out just with my fingers. So we needed the extra pliers. That's probably where my pliers are, in case you're wondering why I didn't finish this off. And plus I want to keep this head pin, so there's that. Here, put this away.
Where am I putting away?
Over there.
I don't know where it goes.
Move your hand over there. No. Hotter.
In your thing here?
Yeah. Uh-huh. You see where all the other needles are standing up?
Got the right end up.
So you don't get it through your finger?
Almost did, yep.
Perfect. Blood.
You like this? I'm like, ooh, that's
sharp.
That's sticking to my skin.
Come on, ouch. Yeah. All right, we made that. Wow, yay.
What'd you make?
This.
That looks good. Wow, yay, and
I'm proud of myself.
Good. You should be. You did good.
Oh, is that all you made?
Yes. The last ones, that was the one that didn't fit in the kiln with the last batch.
Oh. And so did you have any more, or is she still?
I glazed 3 today. I have another one left to glaze, and I have 6 to trim that need to go into the bisque. So trimming is next week. That's good, right, y'all? He did a good job.
So we did tubular herringbone, and I did not do the wire wrapping part of that, but that's okay.
What's this referral link?
I don't know, but it's rolling on.
Share your referral link, because I saw it on the email. It says you've received your first referral link, your first click on your referral link. Keep the ball rolling. They're giving you less and less space to actually do
to see anything,
especially when like new comment comes up. Then it's like,
yeah. It was small to begin with.
Yeah, they put this big banner at the top.
I'm like, basically, they don't want you to see the comments.
No. I want to take a screenshot of that and send it to them. Be like, how am I supposed to watch comments?
I know.
All right, everybody. Here's the bowl. I got
your new one.
My new one. My newest one.
Gertie says hello.
My newest bowl.
You hear that cat?
I do. Hello. So this is my newest bowl. It's a nice size.
Yeah, you did a good job.
It's a nice size. And I really like this one. This is the one I was hoping would turn out really well. It's kind of got the most like straight up and down edges I've been able to make. And I love how this came out. And look how it really does look with this.
I like it because it reminds me of the desert at night.
Mm-hmm. I guess, yeah, definitely. I think it came out beautifully. I'm happy with this. I think I might keep this one. I don't keep my stuff. Let's see. Andrew showed us a different way to finish. I think this might help me. Well, good.
Michelle said that.
Yeah. Lorene Delsant says, love the new bowl. Thank you. I saw you had a bunch of new people watching.
I know. I was like, who are you? And I was trying to be on my best behavior. So I didn't shame myself. And then people would be like, what am I watching?
They're like, who are you?
Who's this clown person?
Probably our regular viewers are like, where's Andrew tonight?
And then they're like, oh.
Like, this is
Vanilla
Andrew tonight.
Vanilla powdered vanilla sauce.
Michelle says, looks good, William. Thank you. Can't get rid of that, can you?
No. I don't want to mess around with it.
I know.
I'm going to have a 2-part.
I know. So this is my newest bowl. I'm
glad we're getting new people watching though. Not that I'm like not happy with the people who tune in every day.
Yeah, of course.
But it is nice that our family is growing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Right.
If they like it.
As long as you're good.
Here goes. I didn't say it.
I'll say it.
I'll get accused of it.
Right. Y'all got to be good if you're going to hang out with the AG Beat fam, right? Got to be nice to each other. Got to be kind. Got to be nice.
And get the boot.
Yeah, I'll give you the boot. No, we're easy. We're easy.
I'm not.
Andrew, he says I'm not. He says the rumors are true.
What? Yeah, correct.
This is correct. No, he's fine. Don't worry, everybody.
No, I'm not.
No. You got a pen? I don't know
like
if this
a
is
Tiger Claw.
Tiger Claw.
You're welcome.
Michelle says maybe all the shares are helping. I think so. That's
so.
why we ask you, please hit that share button.
Yeah.
We also, I've been doing a lot of reels and a lot of shorts lately, and I think people might be finding us. Any new people find us through the shorts that we've been doing?
Finding us?
Yeah, how are you finding us, everybody new?
You just random search.
How's that happen? I'd like to know.
Jewelry.
Melinda Jones. You got my last name, Melinda Jones. Hello, Melinda.
Maybe
that's gorgeous. We could be. The Jones family is large and wide.
You can have a
cast a large net. I know, right? I probably had a Melinda in my family. I'm sure of it.
If not, you do now.
Kimberly says, I leave when stuff gets in some kind of way.
Oh.
What?
That happens.
I don't know what that means.
What she said. She leaves when things get that kind of way.
Oh, gets in some kind of way.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah, Andrew gets what you're saying. I'm confused, but I just sat down, so
I'm just going along with it. I don't need to understand everything.
Lorene says the shorts. Oh, good. I'm glad people are finding us from our shorts. This is the voice you hear in the shorts.
That's
right?
William.
That's me, William.
I'm Andrew.
That's Andrew.
You know, somebody confused us again.
I always get called Andrew all the time.
And
people who have barely met you call me Andrew.
And people
in Johnstown.
I'm brown and Asian and like a foot shorter. And they are like, William. I was like, where is he?
Right.
Where's
he at?
Where's he?
So this is my newest one. It was in this series. I also had another one that was in this kind of series, but my pottery teacher liked it so much she traded with me for it. So yeah, she kept that one. I just took it back to her today. And for those of you who are new, if you like pottery, maybe you'll like my other stuff. These ones are going to go in the online store very soon. I just got pictures of them today.
That looks good.
I love this one. I almost want to keep this one too.
That's good.
I'm getting to the point where I want to keep my own stuff, which is, I guess, good.
That's good.
Because I'm liking it. But I guess if you like my style, you'll like these. If not, you do not. I'm trying to avoid a certain person in the beading community, says Kimberly. That person is in some of the other groups. I've left those. They're full of drama, and I'm not into it.
Message me who it is so I know who it is, so I'm not pair you, buddy.
I know, right?
Hey, Kimberly, you should be best friends with this person.
I know. We get that a lot.
I get that every day. Somebody's like,
Oh,
oh,
you should like this person.
you know, so I have this thing that's like an AI that on my Instagram.
Everybody's got that, right?
So sometimes I like work through thoughts by talking to the AI, especially about like figuring out orders of operation stuff. And I'm like, so what do you think about this idea? And then like I'll like just go back and forth. And then it's like if you read that, like I'm basically training it to be an assistant that I can talk. And then they're like, have you heard of this person? And I was like, don't ever mention their name again.
You get to yell at the AI.
I didn't yell, but I
Yeah,
typed
right.
it aggressively.
Typed it aggressively. Dominion says, I'll try not to scare away anyone. Yeah, don't scare people away.
Your name, though, you may want a different name. That when he first told me, he's like, Dominion is on. I was like, oh, the legions come forth.
Right?
To conquer man. But I know it's based off of a movie.
Uh-huh.
But still, I was like, that sounds mildly aggressive.
Mildly aggressive, right? So these are my latest pieces, and they will be going into the online store shortly. This is the one, if you like my teacher's work, Amy Roadman, this is the one that I traded her for. Susie says, I love the new bowls. Thank you.
Which Susie?
Our neighbor.
Howdy, Susie.
Kimberly says, wow, William, these are fabulous. Thank you. Camina says, I joined one of the other groups on Facebook. I think, but I am never on Facebook. Oh, that's Dominion. Look at this. I love this. My teacher does good work, right?
Yeah, she's better.
Mm-hmm. Anna says, I love when Facebook suggests my ex-husband is a friend.
I don't. I hate that garbage.
Right.
There are people, I'm like, there's a reason why they're not my friend.
Right.
I was like, can I put a comment?
I wish you could just be like, never, ever again.
Correct.
Like, because even if you block, it seems like sometimes they still pop up.
I know. I was like, so I'm going to retrieve them off the block list.
Kimberly says, block them.
But sometimes there's one person that she sassed me so
A lot of times
hard,
people make new profiles because too many people block them.
Correct.
So they start making their new profiles.
And I'm not going to say who it was, but she reamed me 2 ways to Sunday and then got her friends like to try to gang up on me. And then so she had to start a new account because I guess when you admit to crimes of running a brothel.
Oh my goodness. So, what kind of people do you know, Andrew?
Some bead people. And they're like so proud that they're in a brothel. And I was like, well.
Susie says you need to make cat handles on your pieces.
There you go.
I was telling Amy that today. Apparently, I said, Andrew sent me something, but I couldn't find where you sent it. But then I just realized it's probably on your timeline.
Correct.
And I was trying to show her, and she's like, you mean she said something else. I said, no, they're apparently cat on the handles. And she's like, oh, I haven't seen that yet.
She don't look at my timeline.
But I told her that our plan is you're going to make cat heads. I'm going to put them on. Debbie says, cool cup. Yeah, my teacher does a good job. This is my teacher's cup. Amy Roadman Art on Instagram. I think it's amy.roadman.art if you want to follow her and her business, Amy Roadman Art. All right.
What do y'all want? Some metal beads tonight, maybe? Some random thing?
You have the bag I brought too?
Well, I want to do...
I know you want to do what you want to do, but I just want to know if you have it. If I brought it up here.
I don't know.
I
don't know. That's not my idea.
Oh, look.
Oh, why are you throwing?
I didn't mean to. I thought I was closer to the ground than I was. Found another one.
Okay. We did a bunch of loose slots last night. If you want some of those beads, maybe can you go through like the multiple comments one?
I'll go through and see if anybody missed something because we just found another bag. So if you missed something last night, if you ordered it and thought you missed it, I'm going to go through tonight and see if we've got.
Or do you want to just have fresh start?
I don't think we should do them again. 2 nights in a row.
Maybe we'll do it in the D stash.
Yeah, maybe there, because it will actually be harder for me because I've already packed up.
And I have.
And there weren't many multiple comments, honestly.
Okay. We may take whatever's left over and redo it.
Michelle says, I'm in a bunch of bead groups, but I am chill. Kimberly says, I've seen you around in communities, Michelle. You are awesome. Michelle is awesome. Michelle's always sharing and contributing.
So, what's our number for tonight?
Oh, I don't know. Give me something. Let me check it.
BM.
That sounds troubling.
Like a bowel movement.
I doubt I've ever used that one. I have not used that one.
Well, let's do it tonight.
All right.
At least know
Yeah.
you're not happy.
Right. Boy, we had a lot of people pop on Instagram.
I know.
Sophia Monet artwork. Charlie was there. Guerrilla Discourse.
That's Alba.
That's I knew that was somebody. Alba.
You know she's pregnant again?
Again? I did not know that.
She's gonna have 2 babies.
Oh my goodness, that's
wild. I went to
wild.
school with Alba, so in case you're wondering who we're talking about.
That is wild to
I
think.
never thought she'd have babies. Let me tell you.
Tarak 808, the Ragsdale, and Fire Forge. If you're out there, anybody, say hi. Thank you for being out there. If you're on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, please say hi. Let us know you're out there. All right. I'm ready. Let's get this show on the road. Let's start.
He made himself a fortress.
I did make myself a fortress. Let me move these back over here before they break.
All right. Good. I was telling everybody how when you came home today, you had a great big bag of packages that you took to the post office.
I did.
So y'all seem to like the vintage last night for the Craft House.
Kimberly says I could go join from all those places if you like.
What are they?
Instagram, Facebook.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
He's like, go ahead. It might get other people to join them too. There's like 10 people watching right now.
It's Wednesday night.
It is Wednesday night. It's always the slowest night.
Maybe more people will start watching.
Look at this one.
Isn't that fun?
This is fun. Let me move this light.
That's cool. You know who I got that? Oh, I'm not going to say who I got that one. But she is the most spooky person.
So here's how you do this. If you'd like to purchase from this video for the new people out there, we give you a lot number sheet. It has BM1. It gives us the lot number at the top, maybe sometimes the old price, the current price, and how many are available of that item. BM1, you take BM1, for example, put it in the subject line of an email, send that email to info@allegorygallery.com. We do not accept claims through the comments. For one, the comment system doesn't want us to see comments today, but also we broadcast in a lot of places and we're not able to tell when the comments are coming in, who's first, who's not. So email works. Send us an email, info@allegorygallery.com, BM1. Abby Barrett is live right now, so that may be why numbers are low tonight.
Abby from the beat place. Berta.
I was gonna say that's
Abby.
not.
You know Abby.
I do know Abby, but I don't know if that's a different Abby or not. If you meant Abby Berta, that could be. But we're always slower on Wednesdays. It's Andrew's demo day. He gets to show you new things generally.
Who is it?
Your demo day.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I thought you said Sandra. I was like,
No, it's Andrew's demo day.
Yeah,
Kimberly said stupid typo. Yeah.
I would never know because of Abby's name, Berta. You know, I have known her since she's a child.
These are 5.5 millimeters.
She used to come to the shows, and she would wear these high heels
by 6 millimeters.
And I was like, "Girl, what you doing?" But I also used to wear pointy shoes. So
yeah, Used to get all dressed up for the shows.
Now I'm like, oh, non-sweatpants. What? Say what?
Say what?
All right. People like that.
I don't know. BM1, it's not sold yet. Only $5 for the strand. Where's my ruler? My ruler got buried over here somewhere. I think it was over here. Oh, there it is. Up here, underneath here. Let me give you the length of the strand. Oh, why did it do that? I must have accidentally hit the share your referral link.
Did it close it out?
No, it just lifted there, but it shared it. Sorry, everybody.
Oh, great. Click it.
Yeah, somebody, you want to learn it? You want to use StreamYard? We'll get a kickback if you use StreamYard for your productions. I need a this is comment feature on YouTube. I can see your comments on everybody's comment. I have to scroll up to see.
Who said that?
Kimberly. I need a like this comment feature so you can like all the comments. I know, right?
I don't know.
Okay, so that is that. BM1.
All right, let's go fast.
We're gonna go fast today. Are you ready for fast today?
I'll pretend.
You'll pretend. All right. Let me get myself in order. If we're gonna go fast, I need to have some room over here. All right. Let's put this up there.
Go fast with wild abandon.
Fast with wild abandon. BM2 looks like this is. Oh, it's a $2 check glass.
You never know what we're gonna have.
You never know what we're gonna have. We had a whole $2 strand night the other night. If you missed that, make sure you check that out. BM2, $2, 8-inch strand, fire polish check glass, just about 4 millimeter. These are usually 4x4. Yep, about 4 millimeter check glass. 1 strand available. BM2. BM3. Ooh, look at this crystal. Blingy, blingy. Beautiful strand of crystal, $4. And that kind of purple, kind of that brown purple color.
I think they're using manganese, and it makes that kind of brownish
color. These are 4.5 millimeter crystals. This is approximately a 7.5-inch strand. 1 strand available, only $4. Michelle says, I took advantage of $2 day. I know you did. Thank you.
Good.
We've still got a lot of the $2 things. I just put up a reel about it today. If anybody's interested, you can rewatch that video. We're holding that price open for a little while. BM4. Vintage check glass strand. The large size fire polished. These are 5 millimeter, almost 5.5 millimeter by about 6 millimeter. And this is a 6-inch strand for $4. $4, BM4.
Oh, did you do the blue ones?
Not yet. These ones?
Yeah, I found another strand of that.
Okay.
So, what did you do today? Anything fun and exciting?
Me?
Yes.
No, you know what I did mostly. You probably talked about it already. I went to my pottery class. That's always fun. But I did packing and shipping. I went to the post office. I met up with somebody who bought something in town at the post office. And you didn't know that? And then I came back and I did some reels and stories. I took pictures of my pottery, took pictures of the $2 strands, and made reels and posts about them. and then went to my pottery class. I came in and set your alarm.
That's good.
Because I think you woke up, but I don't know if you remember waking up.
No.
Yeah, you looked at me when I came in, but I went and set your alarm because I knew you hadn't rested enough yet. So I was like, I'll just set his alarm for a little bit later instead of when I left. These are about 8mm by 6, about 8 by 6. These are a fun shape. It's a fun shape. It's kind of a bicone, but it's I don't know, it's squished. And these are 8-inch strands. 2 of them available. BM5.
Like a saucer.
Kind of like a saucer, yeah, like an oblong saucer.
Oblong.
Oblong. $4 each. BM5. Haven't broken that seal yet. Haven't broken the purchasing seal yet.
Well, who knows? I kind of you never know what's gonna happen.
Michelle says, LOL, when I told hubby everything was $2 that day, he said, okay, you get to spend this amount.
Okay.
That's sweet.
Yeah, that's nice.
He's nice to you.
You got a good one.
Yep. He's nice to everybody. A lot of people, anyway. Nice to us.
He takes time out to say hi to us.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff. That's always nice.
BM6, $4. 1 strand available. I know it's hard to do these $4 strands after we had a $2 strand night, right? 7mm by 11. 7 by 11. These little large rice beads. This is an 8-inch, well, 7.5 inch strand. BM6 in this beautiful green.
Yeah,
What'd you do today?
My brother called.
Your brother called?
I know.
Oh, did you talk to your mom? Did she call you? I forgot she called the store this weekend. I forgot to tell you. It must have been after hours. Or when I was I had those customers in that day. It might have been then. But I didn't see the. Yeah.
No, I didn't talk to her. But yes, I was like, what's happening? Like, I thought it was like emergency. But it's not.
Oh, good. Is he okay? Everything good?
I guess.
You got to talk?
I just texted him back because I was about to go live.
Oh, it was right before. This is a 14-inch strand of crystal for only $7. Beautiful crystal. This is vintage crystal. We generally charge about $7 for that. And that is 6mm vintage crystal, BM7. Oh, we sold BM6. Oh, hooray! Hooray, BM6 is sold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are still available, and so far 7. But thank you out there for getting number 6.
Thank you.
We appreciate it all. You know, some nights are like that. Sometimes it's a big night, sometimes it's a small night.
I also think sometimes, like, because I do the tutorial, sometimes people they zone out. Also,
sometimes the tutorial crowd is not the buying crowd. Different people, and that's all good. Maybe if you need something, you'll think of us next time when you do need something at allegorygallery.com. A lot of people see us do these lives and see us on Facebook. You would not imagine how many times I get asked, do you have a website? I'm like, yes, we do. Maybe we should plug it more. Allegorygallery.com. Allegorygallery.com. We can't plug it on Facebook because every time you put it on a post, they suppress the post. But we do. We have a website, allegorygallery.com, and it's got lots of good stuff on it. And if you join our text message list or our email list, we send out emails and text messages, and sometimes you'll get discounts on things. This is a 16-inch strand, beautiful green crystal, BM8, and this crystal is 8mm.
It sounds like you had a nice productive day.
I did. I always feel like I should be more productive, but I did pretty okay today. He did pretty okay. And here's more. This opaque kind of purpley crystal. Light, soft purple. And these are 6 millimeters, almost 6.5. And this strand is approximately a 12-inch strand of crystal for $7. Look at that shining at you. $7 for the crystal. BM9. Whoa. Where'd the paper go? How'd the paper fly out of the bag? All right. BM9, BM10. BM10. Ooh, that's a good price, $14. Look at this amethyst with the matrix. I think it's always really pretty.
Sometimes they call it dog tooth.
Dog tooth. Yeah, this one is more dog tooth, right? Look at that. Very pretty amethyst strand. These are amethyst ovals. And let me get you a size on this. These are approximately 12.5 millimeters by 16. And it's only $14 for the strand. Really nice quality. And that is a 16-inch strand. 16-inch vintage strand. BM10, $14. Beautiful strand of dogtooth amethyst. Good price. Good price, Andrew.
Thanks. Is this close enough to the next one?
And look at the next one yet. Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
All right. Then make that number 2.
Whoa. BM11. These are nice. Here you go.
You can keep it.
Okay. BM11. Why dog tooth?
Huh?
Michelle's asking why dog tooth.
Because the chevrons look like dog teeth.
Because oftentimes it zigzags and looks like pointy dog tooth. Or any teeth, any canine teeth, right?
Sometimes they call it chevron, amethyst.
Yeah. Some of our vendors are chevron. They call it chevron. This is BM11. This is beautiful quartz drops, top drilled quartz drops. And these are $12 a strand. We've got 2 strands of them available. BM11, $12 a strand. These are really pretty. Think of all the earrings or little pendants you can make with those. Dale's tuning in, just tuning in from work. Hello, Dale. Thank you for joining us tonight. Good to see you here again. Anybody new out there? Where are y'all tuning in from? Did you talk about dinner yet? These are about 19 millimeters by not.
We talk about tutorials.
By 8. Talked about tutorials. And these are 12. These are 16-inch strands. BM11. Beautiful quartz, natural quartz. Drops. Make 1 pair of earrings. Take those, make a pair of earrings, sell them for $12. Done. Paid for the whole strand. That's what I would do. BM11. 2 of them available, $12. I don't think I'm going to fit both of these in this bag, though.
So what did you do in your pottery class?
I glazed today. I hate when I always come in today because on your phone, I keep thinking I could show people the pictures of the glazing I did, but I'm not on my phone. And we know that switching phones doesn't work. Let's not try that.
Give it a break.
Give it a break. So I did lots of glaze. I glazed lots. It took me It always takes me, I get about 3 things done in a class. So my class is 6 to 8:30. I usually get there a little bit late, 6:15 to 8:30. So let's say 2 hours by the time I get in and set up, and I glaze 3 things in 2 hours. What is this? Is this lepidolite?
Mm-hmm.
Lepidolite.
It's pale one.
It's a very pale lepidolite, but it's got some beautiful color. And I did some fun glazing, I think, today. So I'm interested to see. One of the glazes I repeated from some things that I have that I've sold. So I have that, and then 2 of them I did I did them with a few shades of green and like a pinky orange, and then I did a few shades of blue with that same pinky orange. So I'm excited to see how they come out. So this is lepidolite, BM12, $10. That's about 10.5 millimeter oval by 14 millimeters, BM12. Lepidolite. Ooh, this is fun. What is this? An agate, dyed agate. These are nice.
That's from our one friend that we haven't seen in a few years. I wonder if he's still alive.
I don't know. Look at this. This is these are beautiful stones. I think they're a dyed agate.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're really kind of lush.
Yeah, they are.
They're kind of like a purple and berry.
Mm-hmm. With some red in there.
It gets into like the cracks and stuff, so it kind of reminds me of those soji eggs. You know, the one that come out the soy where they soak it in soy sauce.
Or in tea, the tea eggs. Yeah. Look at those. Those are really pretty. That's a $24 strand. That's a nice strand. Those make some fun earrings. Kimberly says those are gorgeous and chunky, right? BM13, only $24. Really beautiful. And these are,
should be more.
They should definitely be more. 15.5 millimeters by 12. 15.5 by 12 millimeters. BM13. Kimberly says, are they large hole too? Fairly.
They should have a decent size.
They are approximately, it's saying 2.3 millimeter hole. So that would be a large hole. Yeah, I'd say 2 to 2.3 is what they're coming up. 1.5, but I can't get in there on that one.
Sometimes they're called the snakeskin agate.
They're at least 1.5 millimeter holes from what I can tell.
But you know, back when snakeskin agate first came out, they didn't do as much to it, I feel like. And so it was usually kind of like pebbly looking, like those gobi pebbles a little bit. Where they have a little bit of that varietal action going.
That's just a kind of luscious strand, I feel like. It's almost opalescent like chalcedony in some places, the way they've dyed the color. Right, it's taken that beautiful strand. BM13, only one of those available. Still available, $24.
A lot of stuff are just random stuff, and we don't have more of it.
No, we're pulling from the stash here in the office. What we've got, we've got. And then that's it. We're not going to see that again. I've not seen that.
Don't worry about it.
So to be able to see it again, BM14. Oops. Come on, little quartzes. BM14. Little quartz pebbles. Let me get this strand. This is a 14-inch strand of quartz pebbles, BM14, only $3 for the strand. $3 for the strand. Quartz pebbles, 1 strand available. These are approximately close to 5 millimeter. 5 millimeter. BM 14. $3.
Wait, what is the number?
14.
Uh-oh.
Did you miss number?
One moment, please. It's 214.
Thank you. Okay.
So what number is that?
Huh?
The last one?
Last one was 19.
Of the ones I can see.
19.
Okay.
BM 15. This is rhodonite.
Where?
I got it right.
You got it.
Rhodonite. I'm on it tonight.
Wow.
Look at these rhodonite little tubes. I know some of y'all out there love the little tubes. We kept an eye out. Andrew found some in the stash. These little rhodonite tubes. Really pretty coloring on these. Trying to get that light up there for you to see. There we go. Really pretty rhodonite tubes or cylinders. And these are 4.4, so about 4.5 millimeter by...
Is anybody reading anything good? Because I'm in between books right now.
Oh, you need a book.
Yeah, I started one and I
4.3.
must have been too tired or something, but I was like, I don't know what the heck is going on.
And this is a 16-inch strand of these. $12 for the rhodonite, 16-inch strand, 1 strand available. And these are nice, beautiful, very uniform cylinders. Little tube beads can be a rap name, says Charlie. Hello, Charlie.
What's their rap name?
Little tube beads. That's funny.
Charlie's
been putting a lot of reels and things up. Have you seen?
I saw the one painting.
I shared it on our thing so we can help our people get seen more. I figured the shares help, right?
It helps us, so why wouldn't it help others?
I know. So make sure you follow Charlie Infante, Not Cursed Art on Instagram. Not Cursed Art. It's not cursed art, y'all.
What if it is, though?
What if it is? What if she's lying?
Oh,
Oh!
I didn't say that.
You seem to be saying that.
No cookies.
No cookies. Michelle said those are nice. These would be nice with those other ones. These are rhodonite coins. $14. Rhodonite coin strand. These coins are about 8 millimeter coins. BM 16. Maybe people just don't want to write BM. 16-inch strand. 1 strand of it.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
It's natural.
Charlie says, thank you. I need to share more. I barely remember to post. I get that feeling. I get that feeling. It's hard to remember to do it in your day of everything. Charlie said, someone once asked if I could curse something. I definitely can. It costs you extra, right?
Did you see that foolish nonsense? It's called A Cursed Man. And there's like basically like that. He's going to do a documentary about how he's going to get cursed by all these different traditions around the world.
No.
I said, ask him for trouble. Even if you don't believe in that, I don't know.
You're sending the bad energy your way.
Like,
look at this. Look at these juicy. There's some really juicy ones on here.
So that would be surprise me.
I've never seen that. No.
I see it on Instagram. I was like, I don't need this. I'm not gonna watch it either.
I'm not gonna watch it. That curse may seep out of the screen.
Keep that out my eyes.
Look at that. There's another one in there. This is more rhodonite, 16-inch strand in smooth rounds at 8 millimeters. BM 17, $14. Charlie says, not the cookies though. Those are just nice cookies.
The cursed cookie.
Not cursed cookies.
That's
That's gonna be your new baking name.
Little tube bead.
Little tube bead, not cursed art, and not cursed cookies.
Not cursed cookies by Little Tube Bead.
Oh my.
Too legit to quit.
Too legit to quit. Ooh, look at these.
Gonna be beaten all
Who is ready for Halloween?
I'm ready.
This is orange, black, and white. Beautiful dyed agate. That's some pretty stones right there. Get ready for Halloween. BM18, $18 only, 13.5 millimeter faceted rounds, and that is a 16-inch strand.
Like, I do everything in my power not to be cursed.
Kimberly says spooky agate, gorgeous. Right? Look at that.
Those are fun.
Those are real fun. They look like almost like they have the spider webs in them. Kind of webby look.
I know some of y'all like the Halloween is Life.
So that is BM18, $18 only. Is this Muscovite coming up?
We'll see.
Is this Muscovite? Is that what this is?
I can't see. No, that's dyed quartz.
Is it?
I think so.
Is it really? It's got those shiny little flecks in it, like Muscovite.
I'm
go
pretty
by
sure
what
it's dyed quartz. The ones on the ends are kind of like Technicolor.
Okay, because it's got the little glitter that you normally see. I'll go with that. Beautiful, whatever they are.
I think it's dyed quartz.
Dyed quartz, Andrew says.
How much did I charge?
$12. As I said,
I charged dyed quartz price.
You charge dyed quartz price, but look at those little glimmers of that you get when you see Muscovite. You often get those little shiny. That's what made me think.
Quartz sometimes gets that.
Okay, so Andrew's going to say dyed quartz. I'll go with that because he knows better. But
you know, the thing is that like when they dye it, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I know it's been augmented.
It's beautiful. Beautiful purple. It is 15.8 millimeters, so 16 millimeter.
But I could be wrong.
Rounded squares. Yeah, if he's wrong, you're getting an excellent deal on this strand because that's.
I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong.
Because that is a dyed quartz price.
Some people, they're going to die on their sword, and they're like, well, when the moon is in alignment of Aquarius, then once in a lifetime, it's all one day a year, it's called the...
And that's when I was thinking about it.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, no. That's all right.
Like, there's one time, this dude, he was clearly wrong. Like, straight up not right. And he was trying to fight me on it, and I wasn't trying to be aggressive or anything, or to try ninny boo boo kind of thing.
Look at these pearls.
But sometimes you have experience and you know what you have lived in experience about what a certain thing is.
Right.
And I was like, oh, maybe it's this thing because blah blah blah, and I listed my sources, and and he was at first he's like, no, and then eventually I guess he read some of the stuff, and then he was like, wow, they also, and I was like, just
say you were wrong
and just go with it.
Right.
Who's right all the time?
Yeah.
I'm not.
No, definitely not me. Look at these beautiful vintage freshwater pearls. Look at the color in these. Gorgeous color. They've got that little flat bottom. Make nice bracelets that way because they lay nice and flat against things. And beautiful color. Vintage freshwater pearls, 16-inch strand, $12 only, about 8.5 millimeters. BM20. Charlie says, I want to eat those.
Don't.
Not these, but those. The dyed quartz. And it says, makes me think of lava. Lava.
That's interesting.
Where are we at here? 21. BM21. $3.
I have all different kinds of stuff tonight.
Yeah, you do. Are these glass?
That's glass.
These are glass, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, excuse me. Glass rounds in this beautiful teal color. BM21. Only $3. 16-inch strand. 4.5 millimeter glass rounds. Just a nice little thing to add to your stash.
It's not expensive.
No.
Like sometimes, like you don't want to like you mess around with like your diamonds.
Oh, yeah, you need to make. If you make for shows, you're making at every price point, right?
Or you're making for kids, or
Yeah.
You know,
My cousins would love, or my niece and nephew would love that color. BM22. Charlie says, my back hurts from beading. I'm trying size 15 seed beads today.
Bless you. That business is tiny.
Look at these crystal. Big whopping crystal. AB finish. It's got the flash. It's got the shine. It's got the glimmer. Little rainbow effect on there. BM22, only $10 for that strand. It is a 16-inch strand of about 10 millimeter, 9.5, 10 millimeter faceted rondelles. BM22.
So, did anybody say any book recommendations yet?
No. No. Dominion-esque, what does fire polished mean? It's a type of finish they use in the Czech Republic.
Just make it shiny.
Makes it shiny. It goes through the fire, shines it up. It gets fire kissed.
That's actually real.
I don't know either, but that's what we were always told. It's like fire kissed. Yeah, they hit it with the flame and it polishes it, kind of polishes it up. These are a dyed glass or a coated glass round.
Coated,
yeah, coated, that's what I mean. Coated glass round pearl. And it's only $4. These are not S-word pearls, but they are another kind of glass pearl.
But they look nice.
They look nice. They're a good color. They are about a 16-inch strand. Really pretty color. And they are 8.5 millimeters. 8.5 millimeters. Dominion says that's not the same as AB. No. AB means Aurora Borealis, and it's that rainbow color.
I think that's the stannous chloride that they use.
Stannous chloride.
Which is basically an aqueous 10.
Charlie said, so shiny that my inner magpie is happy with the flash.
I could have made all that stuff up. Nobody would never know.
Nobody would ever know.
Maybe.
You do reference it with, I think, at least, right?
But you know, sometimes I research a lot. And so...
This is BM24. And these are very pretty. Electroplated quartz. Electroplated quartz.
I like those. They used to be super duper expensive.
Yeah, they did. $16 for this strand. It's a graduated strand too.
I think they're beautiful.
Yeah. So they're small on the outside. They get bigger and longer on the inside. Electroplated quartz strand, $16. BM24.
You know who makes those really pretty? Stacy Louise.
Oh,
she
yes.
sometimes uses stuff like that.
Yes, she does.
And they look real good.
I like her stuff.
Like she's gonna go and like she's like a dear lady priestess.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna go to the circle with the drums.
Right. Michelle's asking if they glow. You mean under a black light? No. These do not.
I don't.
No. Electroplated generally just puts that coating on the outside. These are a little bit AB as well. So you can see they have the AB finish. You can see the colors coming from them.
I think they get this color from heat. So they electroplate it with like a nanoparticle, and then they gently heat it, and then that's when it gets rainbow.
Huh.
Like I said, could be making it up.
Charlie says, I'd believe Andrew even if he made things up.
That's reputable, right?
Sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Right.
Yeah, some people they 100% do not know.
And they won't tell you that.
Like this one lady, we went into the store, and she is the
What
sales
is that?
clerk, and it's Aquaterra Jasper.
Aquaterra Jasper.
And she 100% did not know what she was talking about. And she was talking about how the artist would take wax and dip it into molten metal, and then that's how they coated the beads. And I was like, so you take wax and put it into something that's over 2,000 degrees?
Yeah, wax is not going to hold up to that.
And she's like, yes, that's it. And she's like, yeah, I've done it.
Uh-huh.
And I was like,
Did you know wax is a slightly lower melting point than that?
Sure about that?
So this is Aquaterra Jasper, $14 for the strand.
Either she's trying to be tricksy.
It's a 16-inch strand. She's not trying to share her secrets.
And be like mysterious, because I've seen people straight up lie through their teeth.
Uh-huh.
And I know they lied through
8 millimeter by about 9.5 on those.
Because I was sitting at the table while they were doing the thing, and then they start inventing the story about how they milking poppies and stuff. And I was like, what you doing? You did what?
You did what?
This is Game of Thrones?
What'd you do?
Anyways. And so sometimes people say stuff so that they're more mysterious. It seems like I'm more like they're trying to like build the mystique.
Or they want to seem knowledgeable about things.
And then some people just don't know.
Yeah.
Or they get confused, which is easy to do because there's like 100,000 different ways to do different things.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. It happens.
So this is another one of these larger crystal strands, this time more in a yellow reflection in that gold color.
And I think she was thinking about electroforming, not dipping stuff in
molten metal.
I mean, there is a way of doing that. There's an African way of doing that. But usually it's a type of dung that is compressed into a shape.
Oh, lovely.
I mean, it comes off.
Mm-hmm, of course.
Like
it's molten metal. BM26.
There's a thing called paper clay that you can also make forms.
9.5 millimeters, $10 strand.
And it's
16-inch strand.
Clay, like a porcelain clay, mixed with paper fibers. And then it's a neat material. But I mean, you still have to fire it. So I'm like, why don't you just use regular clay?
Kimberly's hitting us up all over.
Oh,
jumped on Instagram, jumped on Facebook.
Do it.
Do it. Do it. Now it looks like we've got a few more people watching.
Oh, good.
Probably Kimberly jumping all over.
Kimberly? Hey, Kimberly,
This is flower agate?
That's right? Called jade.
Oh, this is jade?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sometimes it's called other things, but that's jade.
It is jade. All right. So jade.
Not expensive jade. Not nephrite jade or whatever.
No. $12 jade.
Pretty.
Yeah, it's very pretty. It's a beautiful
flower
color.
Agate, usually it looks like these little splotches.
Oh yeah, they have the little white in them, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They call that cherry blossom.
Cherry blossom, flower, jade, agate.
And also
Six,
people make stuff up.
yeah, about 6.5 millimeter.
Like on the spot. They just start pre-associating.
BM27, $12 a strand, 1 strand available. Oh, we sold number 4. 4 and
Wow.
6 have sold.
What?
I know.
Going back in time?
Back
Back time?
Turn
Share?
back time. 4 and
Okay,
6 have
good.
sold.
Good.
Let's see here. BM28. What is this one?
This one.
The same jade, but this
it's
time
finished different.
polished and faceted.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, those are really
See?
pretty.
Those could go together.
I was
You're
gonna
making
just.
a piece.
I know. Look at that. BM27 with BM28.
Why not? Say yes to the dress.
Right. $12 for the small, $14 for the large. The large is 10 millimeter faceted rounds.
I like how the jade is slightly milky.
It's beautiful.
It kind of looks.
It's like Sydney-like look.
I love that.
Mm-hmm. Charlie says, hello again. Now, what was that about dung?
Sometimes they form it into stuff and then they use it as mold materials.
Molding materials in Africa.
Mm-hmm. And it's actually really like an organic way of doing stuff.
You got to use what you got.
Yeah, my teacher said that I had to do that, and I was like, or what if I got the best quality
materials?
I work like, I like to have like really nice art supplies.
Who doesn't?
You know, some people don't care.
I guess some people want to do it the rustic way too.
But also some people don't care. It's not something that matters.
That makes Andrew's heart sing when he has the nice quality
Correct.
stuff. Look at these little round, these little oval, these little circles, these little O's in the jade.
Like some people, they like paint on cardboard with like toothpaste with house paint. And you know what? If that's their flavor, do it.
Right.
You don't need I like a nice, like
16-inch strands.
I would totally buy into that. They're like this one lady, she hand presses this with her heart, and it's passed down from the generations. These
are 18 millimeters in the outside. The hole is about 9 millimeters on the inside, 8.5. And Charlie says, I need to see a video of that. And also, forbidden lifesavers.
Correct.
Don't eat the beads. Michelle said those last two, you could have them knotted together. They'd be pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do that. Some knotting, some knotting.
All 3 of those together.
Mm.
What do you think about that flavor?
Mix all 3. I like that flavor. Those small rounds would fit inside the holes of those O's, and they would be suspended in there. That'd be pretty good. That'd be pretty nice. Yeah, they fit. Yeah, they fit. 27, 28, and 29. Now, let me just check the junk, just because, you know. Oh, we did get BM19. That went into the junk. So let me move that out of the junk. So thank you so much.
Yeah, sometimes he gets discouraged. I just keep going.
No, I'm not discouraged. I'm just like,
plow ahead.
Sometimes it seems weird.
That's good you checked it.
Yeah. That was a new person too.
Okay.
So that's probably why.
Did you find out Stranger Danger?
Stranger Danger.
Has somebody just claimed the
Nope.
Song?
Nope.
Just tonight?
Brand new.
Oh, I hope you enjoy.
Yeah. Somebody has commented tonight. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for your support.
So these are glass pearls again. BM30. $4 for the strand. I'm going to give you a good deal on these. $4 for these strand. And this is a 16-inch strand of glass pearls at 8.5 millimeters. Oh, and that person, for anybody watching, it was BM19 was claimed, which is that dyed quartz / what I think look like muscovite. The muscovite looking dyed quartz.
Could be.
Somebody grabbed that up.
Okay. And if it's worth like $100,000,
Right. All right. BM30. BM31. BM31. More glass pearls. Whoa.
Do you like these like random? Like this is so.
This is
random.
very random
I
tonight.
could make it even more random.
Could make it even more.
Like just like get the most wildest thing.
Glass pearls again, 16 strand, again 8mm rounds in the silver color, $4 only. Thank you so much. BM31. BM32. Glass pearls again in this peacock kind of color. This kind of blue purple, bluey purple color. Glass pearls, 8mm, 16-inch strand, 1 strand available, $4. Charlie says, I like random, I just have to practice self-restraint.
This hate word. Don't hate crime.
Don't hate crime. Don't need that kind of negativity around here. Abundance talk. Maximalism. This is, ooh, these are a soft, like a pearly pink.
The cup running over.
That's right. Pearly pink.
You know, I probably could become like a preacher.
Probably. My dad had at one point said he had wished I had become a preacher.
Oh. I don't know.
I could be shouting from the pulpit.
Could you?
Yeah, I could.
Huh?
I think I could do that.
Really?
Yeah.
That seems like not something you would do.
No, it's not something I would do, but if I really took that role on, I bet I could do it.
You're going to keep your job?
And I'm going to keep my job. BM33.
You seem too like mild-mannered.
Now I am. I didn't used to be. This was a long time ago.
What were you telling him that he thought you should be?
He was going. His dad was very religious, and he was raised that way. And he is semi-religious, but he's not super religious. I mean, he believes and all that, but he just, I think because his dad was super religious, it was that probably that trauma, that childhood trauma of that his kid would, fulfill the family destiny.
The prophecy.
Right. Yeah, that kind of thing, I think.
Oh, good.
What are these? Is this that?
The Church of Babes.
The Aquaterra Jasper again?
Do it.
And this is a $14 strand. There are 2 strands of these available. These are really pretty. It's a dyed stone, but very pretty. 10mm little squares, rounded squares. And like we said, as long as you know something's dyed, we have no problem with that.
Some people are like, oh my gosh, it's dyed.
Some people, yeah, if it's dyed, oh, it's like a sin.
I don't care.
No, as long as we know.
Rainbow Technicolor.
Right? Yeah.
Unless
unless you can afford the high-end stuff, then you might find some. But like, where are you going to get this color if you don't augment?
I think like sometimes people get where they just want to feel better about what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. But I don't think you have to tear down other people
No.
to do that.
You don't have to put anybody else down. If you want to use dyed stones,
I want to use only like grade A,
grade AAA, yeah.
Sapphires come from the mountain. Do it.
That's
I would
okay.
want to do it too.
Right.
But if you want to use dyed stuff, go ahead.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite designers, they just use whatever they want.
Yep. Vintage plastic, carved bone, dyed beads,
Like,
found objects.
some people, they turn their nose up on plastic.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I get it. I used to be one of those people.
Yeah.
But then I was shown the light.
Shown the
And
light.
I became a believer.
A believer. That's what Charlie says. The AG call. We spread love of beads and abundance.
Correct.
That's right.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Sister little shorty.
Preach
too.
it. A little shorty too. This is, oh my, this is 4.5 millimeters. Sister little shorty
What
tube.
am I watching?
Sister little shorty tube.
Isn't that what she
Is that what it was?
Is that your rapper name?
I gotta scroll back now. Is it little shorty tube?
That reminds me of Gertie.
I know, right? No, little tube beads.
Oh,
Sister little tube beads.
Sister little tube
Beads. Gonna preach.
Speak it. Speak it.
Kimberly says, if you want to sell your stuff, you need to work with lots of materials at multiple price points.
But also, do whatever you want.
Right?
Lalique, people, they go on and on about Lalique. Lalique. Did they know that he also was a pioneer of early plastics? Oh, no, I guess not.
Forgot that part.
They put that in the caption, in the parentheses, in the footnotes.
So we told you how to claim, everybody. And if you have claimed, here's what happens next, just so you know. At the end of the night, I make up a spreadsheet with all these items and however many there are. And I take down the lots from the emails and I plug your name in. And if you got something, usually by the end of the night or the next day, lately it's been at the end of the night. I've been trying to do every night, so that you know, if you get an email, you'll get an invoice from us, from Square, and you can pay that invoice via credit card. There are usually options on there at a certain dollar amount also for things like Afterpay if you qualify. That's not up to us. We have nothing to do with that, but you can select that if you'd like to and try for that. But you will get an invoice at the end of the night. If you did not get anything or your people beat you out to everything, then you will not get an invoice that night. That's pretty much how it works. Once you get the invoice, you pay it. We then pack up your stuff and ship it out to you.
And you're also saying that you're for real going to get it.
Yes. If you do send an email, there's no take backs. You definitely are saying if you send that email in and you get it, you're going to take it, because when we don't express this, people have sent us email for everything or almost everything, and then they get very excited, and then they get a lot of it, and they're like, oh no, I really only wanted 3 things. And that means that everybody else I've already sent an invoice to missed out on it, and we missed out on those sales. So if you send an email, you have to agree that you are taking it if you get it. It's that easy. Michelle says, I sell a lot of my jewelry and do a lot of custom work. Dominion says, I've been really liking lighter colored beads lately, especially pale and muted pinks and clear. Nice. This is a periwinkle color. That's a light color.
Like, here
you go. This would go beautifully with pinks, actually. Wish granted. It would go awesome with pinks. Periwinkle. BM36, $7 each, 2 strands available. Periwinkle crystals. These are about, let's see, 15-inch strands. No,
hey, do you want to do a focal night
13-inch strands. 13-inch strands of 4.5 millimeter crystal. Do you want to do what?
Like a focal night?
You want focals tomorrow night, everybody, or you want some kind of beads? What do you want tomorrow night?
Like gemstone, focals.
Pick your poison for tomorrow night, everybody.
Maybe artisan stuff.
Little shorty tube beads is hilarious, says Charlie. Little shorty tube beads. Sister little shorty tube. Sister shorty tube.
No, like, what the heck is that?
Preach, Sister shorty tube. Testify.
I could get into
Kimberly says, me too, Michelle. I also like to work within the purchaser's budget. So I like to have a wide variety of materials on hand. Kimberly said, focal sounds fun.
Fun, focal.
Funfocal
Friday.
Thursday.
Thursday. For Thursday.
For Thursday.
For
36.
Thursday.
37. Look at these. These are fun. These are fun. They got the good colors.
It's clearly dyed.
It is clearly dyed, but it's fun. It's like that. What are those candies? I like that color. I want to say like a juicy fruit. That's not right. That's
what
gum.
Is your bead name? What is your bead church name?
My bead church name?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have to think about that.
Bead preacher?
I don't know about that. I have to figure. I don't know. I'm not good at coming up with those. We need to come up with one. We need to come up with one of those memes to share on Facebook. Here's your bead church name. 16-inch strand of these beautiful rectangles. These are about 10 millimeters.
I love those old-timey names.
By 14.
When they're like Deliverance Jones or Temperance Hollow.
Charlie says, we will make money and we will all be wealthy. Can I get an amen? LOL. Hallelujah. Charlie says, what if this is someone's first show? We have many first timers on this show.
Then you getting broken in.
Getting broken in. The BM36, one of those two have just sold. Thank you so much. See, she preached abundance and we just BM37 just sold. Thank you so much.
Keep it going.
Keep it going. She preached abundance, y'all, and it is coming. Manifesting. We've got two more sales. We're vibing, right? Higher vibrations, everybody. BM38. It's not an $8 strand. It's now a $7 strand. This is glass drops. Beautiful faceted glass drops. They look like blue topaz.
It's not that.
But they're not blue topaz.
Correct.
They're only $7 for the whole strand. That's not a blue topaz price. It's about a 16-inch strand. These drops are 15.5 by 12. 15.5 by 12. BM38.
Another word for bowel movement. That can be tomorrow.
Tomorrow's. I don't know. We have BM lots of bowel movement. We're talking about dung tonight. Oh boy.
Where's Lena?
BM38 just sold. Thank you so much.
She always accuses me of talking about food.
Charlie says we will make enough and eat bougie and share.
I like that talk.
I like that talk too. All right, BM39. The Feast of the Beads.
An eye for the soul of Neelan Bond. Moving through you.
What are these? These are beautiful.
Gorgeous.
I don't know what that is.
They're green.
They are green. They're multicolored green. They're really pretty.
Sister beat a lot.
Sister beat a lot. Brother beat a lot.
Brother beat infrequently.
Brother beat infrequently. That's my name.
Brother beat once a month.
Beat once a month. Creative make a long beat. Brother creative make a long beater.
Brother creative make a long.
16-inch strand. Some kind of green stone. It's beautiful. I don't know if this is dyed or not. This looks natural. It's natural stone. I don't know what it is. If it's a just not a clear like a, I don't know. It's not pre-night.
Let's call it serpentine.
We'll call it serpentine and move on, right? That's what we do.
Apple something.
Apple something.
Green apple. Granny Smith.
Michelle says, really lucky that I got stuff donated to me. And Kimberly says, I love that, Michelle. I inherited my mom's bead stash when she passed, but I can't bring myself to use them. That would be hard, right? That would be hard.
I think of that as like honoring the person.
It is true.
So
8 millimeter. 8 millimeter green. I love these green. If these don't sell at $12, I'm going to use them. Next creative make along.
Creative make along.
That's right. And the last one tonight, BM40. There's another green stone. This looks like serpentine for sure.
those are, I think, are the same variety.
But this time, serpentine in this twisted helix cut. Oh, listen to that girl. Hello, Ida Bell. How's my
She's a
baby?
talker.
She is a talker. How are you doing, baby cat? Yeah? How was your day? I missed you. I didn't see you much today. Oh. These are about 10 millimeter by 21. And this is a 16-inch strand. One strand available, $12, PM40. PM40. Thank you so much, y'all. Let me flip this camera around real quick. For those of you who don't know what I look like, who are new, got to see Andrew earlier. Did he show you his face? Did you show him your face? Or did you start the camera down? Hello, everybody. Ooh, that cord is pulling tonight. There we go. Hello. Let's turn this.
Show off our cat.
Show off our cat. I just blinded myself. Oh, BM40 just sold. Oh, hi, baby. Hello.
This is Ida Bell.
This is Ida Bell, everybody. Isn't she beautiful? Oh, yeah. She's a beautiful girl. Gonna say hi to everybody out there? Huh? Say hi? Yeah, so pretty. Such a pretty girl. Such a pretty girl.
She's purring good.
Yes, she is. I missed you. Missed you today. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. And we do this every weekday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you'd like to hang out with us again, please do. Kimberly says 418. Looking forward to it. What's 418?
Make along.
Is that the make along? The make along's the next to last. Is that the next to last? Wow. Serpentine. Everyone's saying hi, Ida Bell. Melinda says, I have 8 deer sleeping in my backyard tonight. That's cute. My grandparents used to have a lot of deer on their property too.
I want to ride the deer. We used to live out on 90 acres and there would be deer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, maybe I could convince one.
Convince one. What do you think about that?
I was a lot thinner then.
What do you think about that, baby? All right, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Have an amazing night. We're going to go make some stir fry, I think. And we'll see you back here hopefully tomorrow night. All right. Thank you all for the new people who came. Thank you all for the old friends who hung out with us. We appreciate you all. We love you all. Thank you so much.
Returning friends.
Returning friends. Yeah, we don't like to say old friends but long time friends. Some people don't like the established friends. That sounds so corporate speak. For all of our returning friends and new friends, thank you for being here. And we will see you back here hopefully tomorrow.
See
Bye,
ya.
everybody.